Hi, my name is Joe. Welcome to this video again about narcissism. I want to continue to explore what a lot of scapegoat targets do. When they are confronted with thinking about a narcissist, or they are in a relationship, or they have a friend, a so-called friend, or somebody at work, or family, anybody who's a narcissist, a lot of scapegoat targets continue not to really fully grasp what this means. They continue to see this creature, the narcissist, as being just a normal person, somebody who doesn't have a disorder, somebody who's capable of logic, reason, empathy, they have a conscience, they are measured, they're just a steady, normal person. So a lot of scapegoats continue to see that. So I want to explore this in more depth. Why? Why do a lot of scapegoat targets continue to see this person as being normal, even with all the evidence that they're confronted with, all the abuse they've gone through, the scapegoats experience at the hands of this monster, and with all the learning, because a lot of people are now learning about narcissism via YouTube, the internet, books. There's books and articles galore about this topic. Often you go on television and there's television programs about narcissism and gaslighting, all the rest of it. So why, confronted with a deluge of all of this going into the mind of the scapegoat, so many scapegoat targets still not get it, or they don't want to get it. They use every technique in the world to push asunder, to cast aside what is really going on. And the question is why? Even when the scapegoat is told, look, this is what's happening. This person's a narcissist. They're bad. They're doing all these things. It's really bad for you. And the scapegoat is, oh, yeah. It's not really going in. They're not listening. Why? Because many scapegoat targets live in the land of fantasy. Now, fantasy is a defense mechanism, and often it is called a cognitive distortion. Many people during their life have developed a habit, or what is called a consuetude. A consuetude means a custom or a habit. Consuetude. So many scapegoats have developed this consuetude, which they have developed since they were a kid. And when they were a kid, playing with their toys, playing with their trucks, and playing with their cars, and playing with the little toy soldiers, and playing with the cowboys and Indians, and playing with the dollies, the Prince Charming dolly, and the fairy princess dolly. When a child was in that stage, what did they do? They made up the story. They made up the story. They choreographed the story. They choreographed all the actors and all the players in this story, and they were the director, the producer, and the writer of this story. And every single time, this story came true. Every little thing that happened in the world of the child playing with their toys, their trucks, cars, and dolls, the story they made up always had a happy ending. The fairy princess married the Prince Charming dolly, and off they toddled, and it was just so wonderful in the world of fantasy. So what's happened is, as the child grows up, they take this custom, this habit, this consuetude with them. They continue to stay in fantasy. They make up a narrative, or they hear a narrative that is appealing to them. It appeals to them to make them feel emotionally better. And so they take it with them. They live in the land of fantasy, the land of fairy tales, and the world of make-believe. So in the world of make-believe, all their dreams come true. They feel safe. They feel secure. Nothing can hurt them. Because in the world of make-believe, they make the rules. And that's where they reside. And when people like us try to tell them, no, the world of make-believe, that's not what's going on. This is what's going on here. The land of reality. Land of reality, it's completely diametrically opposed to your world of make-believe. When we try and get them from the world of make-believe into the land of reality, what are we met with? Resistance. They will resist with all their might. No. He's not a narcissist. I know deep down he loves me. See, the world of make-believe, this person, the narcissist, loves this, say for example, woman. The woman then feels safe and secure. It's not love, it's safety and security in the land of make-believe. So a lot of scapegoat targets, they may at an instinctive and an intellectual level understand all the terminology about narcissism: gaslighting, projection, triangulation, ghosting, couching, all the rest of it. At an intellectual level, they get it. Oh, yes. Oh, yes, that's what my husband does, yes. Oh, that's what my boss does, yeah. Oh, that's what my grandmother does, yes. They understand it. But then when it comes to applying it, they don't apply it in their lives. Why? Because in the world of make-believe, they don't want to recognize it. Because it means they've got to come down from their fantasy land, their world of make-believe, into the world of reality and admit it to themselves that this is a damn narcissist that's abusing them, that's destroying them. And when they're in reality and they have to recognize that, it's too painful. It's too painful. Remember, they don't live in the world of reality, these scapegoats. They live in the world of fairy tales, where it's safe and secure, because since they're a child, that's what they've developed. That's the habit they've developed, to live there in fantasy and fairy tale land. And that's where they get into trouble. And they will fight you tooth and nail. If you try and get them into reality, to bring them down from their safe little comfort zone where they lie to themselves, there'll be all the sugar and spice and everything nice in the land of the fairy tale. You try and bring them into reality, the pain of reality, and get them to understand it and deal with it and make a change, they're not going to do it. They're going to gaslight you. They're going to fight you. They're going to call you names. How dare you do that? Because they have made a habit of going back to the land and defaulting back to the land of the fairy tale and make-believe. It's very, very sad. It's very, very dangerous. And those people often never break out of it. Now, we can call it all sorts of things. We can call it cognitive dissonance, Stockholm syndrome, trauma bonding. But what's really going on? Apart from all the chemicals, what's really going on is the conscious thoughts have been developed since they were a kid. If something is too hard for them, they leave reality and they float away to fantasy. Because in fantasy, it's safe. So this is not the first time it's happened to a lot of scapegoats. They have been in fantasy for their whole life since they were a kid. And to get them into reality, it's a hard call. So I'll leave it at this stage. I'll continue to develop these themes, and I hope you got something from this video, and I'll see you next time. Bye.